Ever wonder why some parts of America seem, well, almost empty? I'm not talking about tiny towns or secluded areas. I'm talking about whole states that are practically vacant. These are states that, despite their natural beauty and vast resources, have seen their populations dwindle. So, what gives? Why are some of the most expansive states in the U.S. watching their populations shrink? And why do so many people seem to avoid living there? Today, we're going to dive deep into why half of America feels like it's disappearing. Trust me, you might not expect the truth behind these empty states. But before we start exploring the reasons behind this, let's first take a look at a few states that, despite all their potential, are slowly becoming ghost towns. Let's kick things off with Alaska, often considered the last great American wilderness. Known for its rugged beauty, vast forests, and incredible wildlife, Alaska draws the adventurous spirit in all of us. But here's the twist: despite being so iconic, it's one of the least populated states in the U.S. So, why aren't people flocking to live here? The answer lies in the high cost of living. Everything from basic groceries to energy bills can be incredibly expensive because most goods have to be shipped in. And when you factor in the harsh winters, long nights, and isolation, it's easy to see why the state struggles to retain residents. While Alaska's natural beauty is undeniable, it's simply not an easy place to settle for most people. Alaska is just one example of a state that doesn't live up to its wild reputation. But what about the rest of the country? Let's head over to the plains and look at a state where the emptiness is just as striking. Next, let's talk about Wyoming, a state known for its vast, wide-open spaces. With stunning national parks and breathtaking landscapes, Wyoming should be thriving, right? But surprisingly, it's one of the least populated states in the U.S. So why is no one sticking around? Wyoming's economy is heavily reliant on industries like mining and energy. But beyond that, there's not much in the way of job diversity. Without big cities, tech hubs, or entertainment options, it's hard to attract people looking for a bustling lifestyle. The state's beauty is undeniable, but the lack of opportunity keeps people from settling down in this Wild West state. So, while Wyoming's isolation is a factor, it's not the only state that's struggling. Let's head east to Vermont, where the beauty and charm of small-town living collide with real-life challenges. Vermont, home of maple syrup, stunning fall foliage, and some of the most picturesque towns in America. But despite its charm, Vermont is experiencing something of a population crisis. Younger generations, who would usually be drawn to this idyllic setting, are leaving in search of better opportunities. The high cost of living, paired with a lack of job diversity, means that Vermont's small-town appeal is starting to lose its luster. With limited career prospects and outdated infrastructure, young people are heading to bigger cities for jobs and better amenities. So, even though Vermont seems like a perfect place to live, it's just not keeping up with the needs of its residents. Vermont's story is just one example of how small towns across America are struggling to keep up with the modern world. But what happens when an entire state's economy takes a dive? Let's head down south to West Virginia, where the decline is far more dramatic. West Virginia is a state with a rich history in coal mining, but as the industry has dwindled, so has the state's population. Despite its scenic mountains and rugged landscapes, West Virginia is grappling with high unemployment, poverty, and one of the highest rates of opioid addiction in the nation. The decline in jobs, particularly in industries beyond coal, has forced many young people to leave in search of better prospects. Without new industries and sustainable economic growth, West Virginia continues to face the challenge of reviving itself and keeping its people from fleeing to more promising places. While West Virginia's struggles are rooted in its economic downfall, the story isn't much different in other states that suffer from similar issues. Let's move to the Southwest, where New Mexico is dealing with its own set of challenges. New Mexico, the land of enchantment, is known for its rich culture, history, and otherworldly landscapes. But despite all its charm, the state's population is not growing at the rate you might expect. The primary issue? Poverty. New Mexico is one of the poorest states in the U.S., with high rates of unemployment and crime. The job market is limited, and while the state is rich in culture, it lacks the robust industries that draw people in. If you want to live here long-term, the limited economic mobility can be a serious problem. New Mexico's situation is a stark reminder that beauty alone isn't enough to keep people around. But what about other states with a different set of issues, like Mississippi? Mississippi, known for its deep southern roots, is facing a tough battle. Poverty, unemployment, and lack of economic opportunity have caused its population to decline. While the state has a rich cultural heritage, the lack of jobs, high crime rates, and limited educational opportunities are pushing people to leave. Without significant investment in job creation and infrastructure, Mississippi is struggling to hold on to its residents, especially its younger population. This state, steeped in history, is now struggling to revive its economy. From the south, let's head north to North Dakota, a state that saw a brief surge in population thanks to the oil boom, but now it's facing a new set of challenges. North Dakota saw massive growth during the oil boom of the 2000s, but once that boom ended, so did many of the people. While the state still relies heavily on oil and agriculture, its economy is extremely volatile, and that instability has caused many to leave. The cold winters, lack of cultural amenities, and limited job opportunities outside of oil have made North Dakota less appealing for long-term residents. When the boom ended, so did the hope for a stable future for many who had moved there. While North Dakota's population boom was short-lived, it's not the only state with isolated living and limited job prospects. Let's head to Montana, where its isolation is playing a major role in its population issues. Montana, known for its wide-open spaces and majestic mountains, is another state facing a population decline. Despite its beauty, Montana is incredibly isolated, with limited job opportunities, especially in industries that appeal to younger people. Without the amenities of a major urban center, and with few job opportunities outside of agriculture, it's no surprise that Montana struggles to keep people around. It's a tough place to live long-term for many people, especially when bigger cities offer more excitement and career options. Finally, let's talk about Nebraska, a state that might surprise you with its struggles despite its importance to America's agricultural industry. Nebraska, known for its expansive flat lands and agricultural economy, is dealing with a slow population decline. While it's essential to the country's food supply, it lacks the diverse industries that attract younger generations. Without a thriving tech scene or cultural institutions, many young people are leaving in search of more vibrant cities that offer better career options. Nebraska might be great for farming, but it's not the place to be for those looking to build a career outside of agriculture. So, what's the bottom line? These states, Alaska, Wyoming, Vermont, West Virginia, New Mexico, Mississippi, North Dakota, Montana, and Nebraska, are all facing major challenges. From high costs of living and job scarcity to isolation and lack of modern amenities, these states are finding it difficult to attract and retain new residents. The bigger question is, what can be done to turn things around? With the right investments in infrastructure, job creation, and economic diversification, these empty states might one day see a resurgence. But until then, they remain a reminder that even in the land of opportunity, not every state is thriving. What do you think? Could any of these states turn things around? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into America's most fascinating stories.